Welcome to Discussions with Dianna, brought to you by the Publishing Club of Laguna Woods. Today, I am pleased to introduce two exceptional women, Elise Rothrock, Communications Manager for Laguna Woods Village, and Dorothy Pasella, Lead Ambassador for the monthly Village Living Program. Now, I bet you don't know about the Village Living Program. And I'd like to start with Elise. I affectionately refer to her as the Lioness because in getting to know her, I have come to appreciate Elise's fierce, though understated, protective nature of the residents of Laguna Woods Village. She works behind the scenes to ensure that residents' well-being is fostered and in some cases protected. This includes issues of privacy, dignity, reduced stress, and increased well-being associated with life in the village. Elise is at the interface of our community and its larger context. Elise, what are some examples of what you do?
Well, I and my team, there are three of us, we do a lot of marketing and PR and educational materials for residents here. Chief among them is What's Up in the Village, which is the every Friday digital newsletter that goes out to residents, and it contains news and updates and lists all the upcoming meetings. It's basically a guide to what's coming up in the next couple of weeks. You know, that's something that you don't even get with any other municipalities that I'm aware of.
Yes.
Every once in a while you might get a monthly newsletter, but so we produce that weekly.
Wow.
We also produce the
Village Breeze, yay!
the bi-monthly publication that is supported wholly by Memorial Care.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, yes it is. Every issue, our printing, our postage, our paper, and the production is all subsidized.
Oh.
The only thing that we bring to the table is the staff work.
Content.
The content. My team and I, our backgrounds are in publishing, so putting together something like this is definitely within our wheelhouse. We organize the new resident orientations, the village living events, of course, the two in-person events that we do. We're looking to expand that in the coming year. We do all of the marketing and publication materials for the recreation department. We take care of, which means we do the design, we do the content.
Wow.
We work with all of the departments here at Village Management Services and support them in however they may need with brochures, ancillary materials, educational materials,
Wow.
posters, anything that you can think of. That's our team does that.
So when like let's say a club is doing an event, and I know that the flyer needs to have this little thing on the bottom that says VMS or Laguna Woods. Is that you?
Well, the club events are a little bit different. We don't do the publication and the promotion for clubs because there are 250 of them, and we couldn't possibly do that on a weekly basis.
No, I mean like stamp of approval.
Yes, the club flyers that have the little Laguna Woods Village logo in the corner, that has to be approved by Recreation.
Oh, by
so
Recreation.
The folks in the office put that little logo there.
So that's not you?
No, but we do design the logo. So we're keepers of the logo and the branding and the colors and all those kinds of things that make everything that we produce look uniquely like the village.
Yeah, Laguna Woods, yes.
Right now, if you're in the community center, you might notice that the walls are completely bare.
Yes.
Our team works with the Laguna Woods Art Association. They jury all of the new pieces of artwork that come in every year, and they bring them to us, and then we determine where they might look best on the walls. We do the voting for that. So we do quite a lot. That's just a few examples.
Wow, and you look so calm. Well, and I understand you've got a lot of experience in publishing, particularly magazines. And yes. And could you say just a little bit about that industry, at least the way it was before you came here?
Sure. The magazine industry used to be huge. The company that I started out with had 40 titles at one time and in its heyday. And slowly and surely, as economies change and people's needs change and the way that they intake content that was the digital age, they started to fall by the wayside. Disposable income magazine subscriptions are some of the first things to go. Reduced ad sales, reduced readership. So right when I left the publishing industry, there were still a few, and this is for niche publication, not for your big New York City publications. That's a whole other ball of wax. But niche publications, some of them are still doing very well, very strong, particularly trade publications, but they're still out there. People still like to have that hard copy magazine in their hands, or the
Yes.
book, or the newspaper. So it's still alive and kicking somewhat.
Yes. And so a niche publication, what is that?
That's something very, very specific, rather than like a Time or a Newsweek or a Cosmopolitan, a Vogue, which is very broad in the kinds of coverage that it provides. A niche publication is, for example, the company that I came from, Fancy Publications. They did Dog Fancy and Cat Fancy. They had a private pilot magazine. They had a Wild Bird magazine for birders. A couple of very specific trade publications, one for the veterinary industry, one for independent pet retailers. So very, very specific.
Got it. So now you have publications for happy villagers.
Yes. And it's a pleasure to do this publication. Susan Logan McCracken, one of my associates, she's taken over the day-to-day workings of The Breeze, and she does a fabulous job. I know her from my previous career in publishing.
Neat.
So yeah, it all works out really well.
Yes.
We're proud to produce that, and we hope that residents truly enjoy it.
Yes, I certainly do. And I do like the weekly notice of what's up in the village. That is also very, very helpful. And it is weekly, right?
It is weekly. I'd like to say that anything that goes into what's up in the village goes on the website, into our news section. It goes on the village Facebook page. We send it to the Laguna Woods Globe as press releases, so they get some of their content from us as well. So we like to try to meet people where they are and how they consume content, no matter where that is. We try to make sure that they're seeing it on some level.
And in fact, I think in talking with you about this show, you mentioned that you try to help people, particularly with electronic media, if they have any problem with that, about where to find something on the website. When you go to the, I continue to draw a blank on this one, the village presentation that you do once a month.
The Village Living.
Yes. Why do I forget that?
It's okay. When we give the presentation, part of it is to illustrate to folks where they can find the information that we're talking about, and also much, much more. We really like to promote it as a helpful tool. Since we redid it about a year and a half ago, 2 years now. We're hoping that it's a lot more user-friendly. Things are easier to find.
It is.
We keep refining it as time passes. But yes, we tout the website during new resident orientation, during village living, any chance that we can.
Yes. No, I was very impressed because in preparation for this show, I went back on the website and I noticed it's different. And it's easier. And there was a 17-minute video in the beginning that I watched all the way through that was very well done. I mean, I was impressed. So what was that? Volunteers? A lot of volunteers did that, I think, yes?
Actually, the TV6 crew, the Village Television crew, put that together. We wrote a script.
Go team.
We worked with Dorothy and some of the other volunteer ambassadors to develop a script. The video goes to every destination that our bus docent tours used to go to, but we no longer have those tours. And Dorothy can talk about that a little bit more.
Yes.
But this video goes to every single destination on the tour and plus some. The tour was 2 hours, 2.5 hours. You can't possibly see everything in that time frame. So this video is very comprehensive. It gives folks a really good comprehensive look at what the village is like, all the amenities that are here for people to enjoy. And that's the first thing that people see when they go to that homepage on the website.
Yes.
And I hope that prospective residents, new residents, existing residents go there and check it out.
Yes, because it's very important to really see what is here in the village. I mean, I am still learning what is here in the village. And two things that I learned relatively recently when I took a friend around to show Clubhouse 4 was apparently they have in Clubhouse 4 in the sewing room this massive machine that somehow allows quilting to happen easier, which I'm not a quilter, but my friend was like exuberant about this machine. And then in the photo lab, they're able to print, provided you bring your paper, massively large pictures, which is, oh, and then we've got this studio here. I mean, my goodness, what community of seniors has these sorts of resources?
True, true. And that's really the crux of Village Living. This program is designed for newish, even existing residents, and we get some prospective residents also, to show them how to get in touch, where they can go to have a question answered, get some more information, and then stay in touch. Get in touch, stay involved. So we talk about all of the clubhouses and all of the amenities that are at the clubhouses. And I know Dorothy loves to talk about Clubhouse 4.
She's next.
She has very close ties to that studio. But that's the whole purpose of Village Living is when people move in, they may feel overwhelmed. Where do I turn next? I know that my assessments include all of these wonderful amenities. Now, how do I get out there and find them, take advantage of them, get in contact with people who can give me more details?
Yes, and it's a challenge. I mean, it took me, I've been here 5 years now, and it took me about 3 years to find my place here in the village. Now, I didn't have Village Living, so, maybe it would be different now. But certainly it's just a wonderful place, and I keep discovering new things. In fact, my challenge is to not commit to too many things because then I would be unhappy. Yeah, so I want to bring the attention now to you, Dorothy, because you work with Elise and several other wonderful ambassadors at the monthly Village Living program.
Right.
You've been a resident here for about 8 years, correct?
Yes.
And I know you volunteer in multiple capacities, not only for Village Living, but also at the History Center. I don't even know what else you do, but I know you're very, very active, you're enthusiastic, and I met you at the Volunteer Appreciation Luncheon, among other places. So you're outgoing, enthusiastic, have a warm personality, and so that's why you're here. So what can you tell us about your work with the Village Living program?
Great, thank you, Diana. To build on what Elise has been saying, in terms of the history of our program, when I first came to the village, I was a docent on our weekly docent tours to introduce people to the village with a 2.5-hour bus trip. As time passed, as time does, it evolved that it was time to do something better and different. Hence, we did the virtual tour. But once we developed the virtual tour, I felt we needed to have more of a face-to-face interaction with our guests as well, because we would get a lot of questions on the bus. So I didn't want to abandon those guests.
Yes.
So that's what we do once a month. And we really emphasize, I do the introduction to the discussion because of my involvement with the History Center. I'm passionate about our foundation, where Ross Cortese founded us as a 55-plus active community.
Yes, yes.
And so the objective of our Village Living series is to be active. And I encourage people not to stay home, come off the sofa, and get involved because there's so much to do.
Yes.
The importance of being active is there's something for everyone. And my favorite stories are the people that suddenly explored and they had no idea For example, as you said in Clubhouse 4, people have talents that they didn't know. My favorite story is someone I met at the art studio, and she was painting a beautiful painting. And I said to her, "How long have you been painting?" And she said, 5 years. I said, "How long have you lived here?" She goes, 5 years. And she had never painted before. And you can take that story all around Clubhouse 4.
Yes.
Because people have the gift of time because they're retired, and they can try something else. But the important part of Ross Cortese was the active part, because it was not only physical activity, it was social activity, it was spiritual activity. And he thought about us in terms of the longevity of our life. And when residents move in here, they may not realize that our ages in the village are from 55 to over 105. So imagine VMS trying to manage that community in terms of the breadth of our abilities at 55, and maybe not so able at 105, but they are. I mean, they really are.
Yes.
And my other favorite story that I share with many people is that the National Institute of Health came to visit us 15 years ago because they knew something wonderful was happening here, but they didn't know what it was scientifically. So they came and interviewed everybody, and they realized that by living in Laguna Woods Village, you live 10 years longer than the national average.
Yippee!
And that was the result of the activities and being involved and being mentally challenged and just understanding what we're doing. Well, that's what Ross thought about. And then about 5 years ago, UCI came and did the same interview, same 10 years. So I'd like to tell our prospective guests that these 10 years is a gift with purchase of your manor, because you're going to get to enjoy it 10 years longer.
That's great.
And so in our program, we focus on, well, what are you going to do those extra 10 years? And
Oh, that's delightful.
So that's when we talk about Clubhouse 4. We talk about the clubs. We talk about fitness. We talk about doing activities. We talk about the walks. We talk about all the things there are to do that encourage your growth and your longevity. And then, oh yeah, by the way, there's 8 churches that surround the village.
Yes.
And that will contribute to your spiritual health as well, if that's your choice. So I get passionate about people either when they first move into the village or if they're considering buying in the village, because the ambassadors and I feel that it is heaven on earth.
Yes.
And if we had known then what we know now, we would have come here sooner.
Yes, me too.
Okay.
Me too.
But I always stress the activity, and I take it personally and passionately, and it's why we're here. And I applaud Ross for having that vision more than just being a builder.
Oh, truly. I mean, because so many builders don't have the kind of vision that Ross had.
Right.
And to have it so many decades ago, and then to make it happen. And, I mean, he donated, and I learned this from the video, he donated land both for the Saddleback Hospital, which eventually became Saddleback Memorial, and then also for the churches. It's like, OMG, that has so much foresight. I mean, how did he know that those were factors that contributed to longevity?
So I'll tell you.
Oh, good.
So he first built Leisure World in Seal Beach. And it wasn't just what he wanted. So he went to USC School of Gerontology and gave them his vision.
Oh.
They then helped participate. This is what you need to do. This is your plan. But it wasn't a plan of just nails and hammers and floor plans. It was all these pieces under the umbrella of gerontology and longevity of health. So he says, okay, and off he came to Orange County and bought all this acreage from Lewis Moulton and then began to build. And so that's why we are the beneficiaries of what happened. Matter of fact, at SC, they named the school after him, of gerontology.
Oh, very neat. I didn't know that either.
But that's how it came to be. And so we were all the beneficiaries. So I get rather particular about activity because I want people to thrive and realize that our assessments include the shared services, and we are part of this. And so please use it, because it will only give you health and happiness for another 10 years.
Yes, it will enrich your life for
Yes,
sure,
for
as
sure.
as mine has been enriched,
Good.
and I look forward to it being enriched even more.
Right.
And I mean the number of people I've met here just by stepping outside my manor, and that's another thing that I don't think Ross could have ever anticipated is there are so many interesting, talented, enthusiastic people here.
Yes.
And, so whatever club you show up to, you are likely to find somebody that you can relate to or be inspired by.
Well, and particularly with the clubs, we encourage them, it sounds overwhelming that there's 250 clubs, but we encourage our guests at our village series that you can start with different size clubs. They're very small clubs, okay? And then you can go up to extra large and have very large clubs, like the Chicago clubs, 500 people every month. Foodies has about 40. So, if you're not feeling really brave about doing this, you just want to take small steps, find a small club, but find something and go.
Yes.
And to your good point, you'll meet people and friends that you've never had before. Because I'm guessing you didn't bring your friends with you when you moved.
No.
And so I encourage people, but we're an active community.
Yes.
And we mean it.
Yes.
And that's the very spirit of the village classes, village living, is how to be active and how to make the most of your living here in Laguna Woods Village.
Yes. Yes. Is there something, Elise, that inspires you to work with the people here? Something specific?
I love that no 2 days are alike here. I'm going to meet someone new, or I'm going to talk to an old friend. There's always a new challenge, always a new project. I've met so many wonderful people, as you say, who they either want to volunteer on a board because they have the village's best interests at heart, and they really want to work on that, toward that, with other like-minded individuals. And then you have all of the volunteers. How many volunteers are there?
Well, we had 500 at that lunch.
500 volunteers. They work at the History Center. They make the library run. They make sure that a lot of the amenities continue to run. The supervisors in Clubhouse 4, for example.
Right.
Yes.
So many people are here because they love this community and they believe in it, and there's so much for them to do and get others involved as well. I always like to say that you should never when you're sitting at home, presented with the opportunity to go to a club meeting that you've never been to before, don't let your mood dictate what you do in the moment.
Yes. Yes.
Get up and go.
Yes.
You never know who you're going to meet. You never know who you're going to encounter, what kind of experience you're going to have. And I would bet my life that it's almost always going to be a positive one.
Yes, in some way or other.
Then that gets the ball rolling.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and then you meet people who can help you enjoy life in the village to the fullest.
Yes, and don't let fear stop you.
Exactly.
That's the other thing. I mean, because fear is and even fear about disability. This is a very disability-friendly community.
Right.
So you don't want to just, I'm my wheelchair or whatever. It's like, no, you will be welcomed. You will be warmly received.
Exactly.
And so, yes.
I think the other thing, too, to build on what Elise said, is that if you go to the clubs and you want to just try your hand at leadership, most of the big clubs have boards. So you can volunteer for a position on the board.
That's a great
idea. And so
idea.
then you get your hand into that, and then you don't know, that might lead to considering a board leadership in the village.
Yes.
Or just being a volunteer for a committee. So it happens, it just grows and evolves. And again, the thing I love about being a volunteer, you can't get fired.
Yes, that's right. And you can also say
goodbye, or I want more.
Yes.
Yes. And our paychecks are great. They're always zero. And if you get promoted, it's double the amount. It's still zero. But it's a great time to learn. and you have skills that perhaps you didn't know you had.
Yes.
And suddenly you're blossoming.
Yes.
And many of the big clubs have those leadership roles, and people enjoy them because they're just helping the club.
And thank you, Dorothy, because I've been, and it's still too early in my time here because I'm involved with so many things already, but of thinking of being on the big boards, the mutual board, and then eventually the VMS board. But I've never been on a board in my life.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't even know what that's like. And my experience has been just in kind of dipping my toe in that you're welcomed, you're encouraged, you're mentored, and that is delightful to me. And I also want to share a story. It has to do with coal here in the back room, because there was one time when I was going to do this show and I wasn't feeling well and I was fretting and, what am I going to do? And I emailed Cole and I said, I'm not sure I could do the show. He said, fine. we'll run a show from before. And I was like, oh my goodness. It just took all the pressure off. And so much of life here is that kind of pressure-free living.
That's right.
The only pressure is the pressure you put on yourself.
That's right.
And by the way, somebody that I asked before I moved in here, I said, do you like it here in Laguna Woods? And he said, if you're bored here, you're boring, is what he said.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
When I worked in publishing, my office was at Rockfield and Bake, and often for lunch, my colleagues and I would venture out, and often we would drive by the village, from different directions. And it always struck me just how beautiful and lush and green it was.
Yes.
And lo and behold, I was lucky enough to find myself employed here and have been able to see the inside truly. And it's just so stunning.
It's stunning.
It's inspiring.
I've got goosebumps.
It really is everything that you think it is, looking in from the outside.
Yeah.
And I think people take advantage of our trees. We have 35,000 trees.
I know.
I mean, Ross planted all these things. And again, it was part of the master plan. But I mean, people just take for granted, there were always trees here. I mean, when Ross bought the property, it was a ranch, it was dirt, it was cattle, it was sheep, it was cowboys, there was nothing. No El Toro, no Molten, nothing.
It's amazing.
And here we are today,
Yes.
60 years later.
Well, this concludes another delightful episode of Discussions with Dianna, brought to you by the Publishing Club of Laguna Woods. Special thanks to all of those of you who volunteer here in the community and to the staff here at TV6, as well as throughout the community. I'm very grateful. And a shout out to my cousin Gene, because he badgered me until I moved here.
Gene was right.
Yeah.
That's right, smart person.
May you follow your dreams with passion, persistence, and faith. See you again soon.